What's the most unprepared you've ever been as a director, and what did that teach you?
Oh man, okay, let me think. When was I feel, you know what, I honestly feel unprepared a lot. And that drives me to, to be more prepared. It is the worst feeling in the world to show up. It doesn't even have to be on set. It could be at a client meeting or a production meeting where you realize you haven't done your due diligence. I remember this was a client job, a commercial project, where I ended up showing up late to the meeting when everyone was on time but me, because I didn't plan right and I didn't have the concept fully thought through, and I was saying things in the meeting about the project that they wanted to do. You know, like, we want to advertise this XYZ product, and I had not researched it. It's embarrassing. You're scrambling. You're hoping to God they don't realize that you're unprepared. It's the worst feeling in the world. What did it teach me? It taught me that I know that there is sometimes a resistance to preparation. I don't know where this resistance comes from, but sometimes there is. Oh man, I mean, sometimes it feels like work. It's not the sexy part, research. I am not even a natural researcher. Let's say it's a movie about a court case, criminal trial. Let's say you have a courtroom drama. Well, I don't know that much about the legal system, but it would behoove me to research it if I'm doing a movie on it. Because the more I know about how courts work and how lawyers do their jobs and all that kind of thing, the better off I'm going to be on my feet. But that's not sexy. That's not fun. That's not working with an actor, working out a character. Oh man, it feels hard. Honestly, doing commercial and corporate work has really helped prepare me for that kind of thing, because it makes me have to dig into things I didn't think I'd ever want to dig into, you know, and being on time. That's so frustrating for everybody else when they are showing up before the director. Like, they're there, because you know what that says? That they're more into this than you are. You don't want to be in that position. You don't want your crew going, dude, it's 20, you were supposed to meet 20 minutes. That's not good. That's not a way to inspire trust with your team, or preparedness. Yeah, so I've learned that over and over in the heart, and I run late. I often am late to things, and that's a real challenge to me to do that. So, yeah, definitely punctuality is important. In fact, on set, I like to try to be there before everybody else gets there. And the feeling you get on the flip side of to be there prepared before everyone else gets there, once you feel that, it's hard to go back. It takes a lot of work, but to know your scene backwards, so that if there's a problem and you can go, no, the guy would never have a red curtain on his window because that color reminds him of, you just know that world so well, you can just instantly answer all those questions. You're not sitting there going, yeah, you don't. There is such a great feeling after you've done the work and you've worked so hard to get there, and everybody knows it. Oh, it's so great. It's so great. I really wanted to go back to the sex analogy right then, but I probably should not. But
I often notice that I'm unprepared when I'm really busy. So it's a lot of good things that are happening.
Yeah. Yes.
And you never anticipate that that's going to be a problem. You just think, I want to have A, B, and C happen, and it's going to be great. But then what happens is you're not prepared for one of them or a few of them, and then it can sabotage things in a way.
Absolutely. This is the thing they don't teach you in film school, is what life can do to you when you're trying to make it. And oftentimes, the better the opportunity, the bigger it is, the more things like, I don't have time to prepare for the job will happen. Or, you know, even just getting a film off the ground. Like, oftentimes we'll get in these jobs, because everybody has to make a living, we'll end up working 15 hours a day and we're too tired to prepare at the end or too tired to write that screenplay and you end up not, they don't teach you about that in film school. We all think when we're 21 that we're just gonna have all this time to prepare and come to set and everyone's gonna be on the same team. That's where the true test of who you are comes into play. Like, it doesn't matter if you haven't had time, you better be prepared. If you don't have the time leading up, then you should probably have started earlier, or something. But it's so important. And I think it does test your mettle, for sure.
So when you are early, what are the first, let's say, 5 things you do as a director? Let's suppose you're in command, you're there super early, and you've coffeeed up, or I don't know, maybe not, just whatever. Just you feel good and you're there early. What are the first 5 things?
You know what? Man, that's a great question. So there are many times I've been on set and there's no one there yet. And there is such a peace that can, because it's like there's this energy in the room that you feel that it's coming because you know you're about to create something. And the room is waiting. It's just in waiting. And probably the first thing I do is just to really envelop at that, breathe into it and lean into that, just to take a moment to drop into it. I would say the second thing is, and I'll do this throughout the shoot as well, to wake up and realize, man, I got some lights and all these people, and a lot of these people are my close friends, to really be present. That's so hard to do sometimes on a film set, but if you're there early and you have a chance to really check in and be present and go through it all, really setting your mental state before you start, that's huge. Beyond that, I like to, check through the script, make double check, dot all the I's and cross the T's. Yeah, did I say that right? Yeah. Before I go, make sure I know the intent of the scene I'm about to shoot that day. Does this make sense? This is where we're going. Sometimes I will even pre-plan what I'm going to tell an actor, because sometimes it can be hard to know what to say. But that's a big one for me, to be able to understand, okay, this is going to be a hard emotion to hit. How am I going to get them to that place? I'm going to try telling them this story, or I'm going to try to tell them this kind of direction. I'll do that a lot as well. So I don't know if that was 5 points, but that's a few things that I definitely try to do. And you know what else I do? For me personally as a director, a lot of times I am so sensitive to, so there's the ups and downs to being an emotional person. I'm a very emotive person. That works really well for me when I'm working with actors, because I can sense emotion and I'm looking to try to pull it out of you, and I'm looking to see if you're shutting down or opening up or feeling defensive or you're feeling scared. You have to turn those sensors on. Well, that can also work against me when I see that the crew is tired and I see that they don't want to be there or they're distracted. So one of my struggles is that I will sometimes not get for everything I want, or keep shooting until I get what I want, because I'm afraid of abusing the crew. I'm so terrified of I don't want the reputation of the guy that works everyone's 17 hours and not thankful, I want him to be proud, but you know what I mean? So I will sometimes have to talk myself into it, because this is what'll happen to me. We'll be shooting and someone will go, "Did you get it?" I'm like, "Well, not quite, but I'm worried because I don't want you guys to have to keep working." And usually the crew will go, "Why, are you crazy? We're here. Let's just do it." That's what usually happens. It's funny that they're trying to talk me into keeping going. It's just hilarious. But I will oftentimes, very importantly, look at my struggles and go, it's okay to ask for another if you need it. I'm essentially talking myself into it and kind of hyping myself up for that kind of day.
Sure, when you're sensitive, or there's the one with the arms crossed, that's just, you could just feel they're muttering under their breath, you know, and you don't know what you've done, but
Yes.
they're just totally mad at you, and they're like, this isn't making sense.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
I mean, and so being a sensitive person,
Yeah.
that's the curse
Oh,
of it.
I read that energy so well. And you know, the funny thing is, I've learned, is what my wife has taught me this, is that oftentimes when that happens, it has nothing to do with you.
Sure.
It's because they just got the call that their kids got in trouble at school or whatever. Like, it's half the time it has nothing to do with you at all. Or that's just how they stand.
Maybe they're cold. Yeah.
They're just that guy. You know, so yeah.